pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the National News Broadcast. We are coming to you live from Rupavahini's news studios. I'm Dilanjali Ananda.
And I am Lakshit Singha. We start off tonight by taking a quick look at the top stories.
Hirunika Premachandra sentenced to 3 years of rigorous imprisonment. The president says that if Sri Lanka's economy couldn't be restored, the country would have been another Kenya by today. Executive-level public officials will be paid a special monthly allowance of 25,000 rupees. Transitional and vulnerable social groups will also have the Asvasuma benefits. Bus fares reduced by 5%. Minimum fare is 28 rupees. Debate between Trump and Biden triggers panic among Democrats.
On to those and other stories in detail. We start off with the top story for tonight. The Colombo High Courts today ordered a 3 years rigorous imprisonment on former parliamentarian Hirunika Premachandra.
She was proven guilty of abducting a youth serving at a shop in Dematagoda area and improperly detaining him. Following a lengthy hearing, this verdict was declared by Colombo High Court Judge Amar Ranaraja. Hirunika Premachandra was proven guilty for 18 allegations levelled against her. The judge also ordered her to pay a fine of 20,000 rupees per each allegation. If she fails to pay the fines, she will be sentenced 6 months imprisonment for each allegation. The judge further said that according to the nature of the offences committed by the respondent, the courts has the powers to sentence her for 69 years rigorous imprisonment. The Attorney General has filed this case against Hirunika Premachandra under the charges of abducting a youth named Amila Priyantha who served in a shop in Dematagoda area on the 21st of December 2015. The respondent was also charged of detaining the complainant by force, assaulting to injury and several other charges. The Deputy Solicitor General pointed out that the respondent, using her powers as the parliamentarian improperly and attempting to solve family disputes by abducting a normal citizen is a grave offence. The Deputy Solicitor General further requested the courts to give her a punishment which will be exemplary for the members of the society to ensure that the protection of law is solicited to the general public who live in a legal manner in the society. He also pointed out that suspended sentence for such a respondent is not suitable at this juncture. The courts issued this punishment considering the request made by the Deputy Solicitor General. Accordingly, Hirunika Premachandra is now in the custody of prison officials. Lawyers appeared for Hirunika Premachandra stated that an appeal will be filed on Monday against this punishment.
If Sri Lanka's economy couldn't be rebuilt, the country could have become another Kenya in the world. These were the remarks shared by the President participating at the Presidential Environmental Awards 2024. The awarding ceremony was held at the BMICH in Colombo today. 124 persons who have rendered significant service for environmental conservation were awarded with gold, silver and bronze awards. The Central Environmental Authority organizes this awarding ceremony annually to evaluate industries, business entities and individuals who contributed to environmental conservation. State Minister S. Vyalendran, Secretary to the Ministry of Environment V.K. Prabhat Chandrakirti and several others were present at this ceremony. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that he has undertaken significant international efforts to combat climate change. This includes initiating the International University on Climate Change and preparing related legislation. The environmental discourse has evolved beyond traditional concerns to encompass climate change, which has now become a pressing global issue with significant economic implications. The President said that he has instructed the Secretary to propose amendments to align with global standards, as environmental authorities worldwide have updated their laws accordingly. Sri Lanka is also advancing towards enacting a dedicated climate change law alongside the establishment of a climate change centre and the appointment of a consultant to spearhead these efforts. Additionally, they have undertaken significant international efforts to combat climate change. To support this initiative, green financing and green bonds have been incorporated into the country's economic program. They are committed to meeting these objectives and their efforts are focused on addressing the global climate challenges. Our focus should be on advancing towards this goal, which demands substantial funding. Many countries in Africa and Asia are heavily indebted and have requested debt relief. He emphasized that Sri Lanka's debt issues can be managed independently. There has been a call for the complete abolition of debt relief for low-income countries in Africa. Sri Lanka has taken the first step towards debt restructuring, moving the country out of bankruptcy. Sri Lanka's next step is to implement the economic transformation law to continue this progress. At the Climate Change Conference, Sri Lanka proposed the complete cancellation of debts for African countries. Sri Lanka does not seek such aid for itself. The government is managing the debt independently, utilizing energy and knowledge. State Minister Janaka Wakkumura said President Ranil Wickremesinghe is committed to creating a healthy ecosystem for future generations. He has made these significant efforts to revive industries that were on the brink of collapse, even amidst numerous challenges. His leadership has restored the country's reputation on a global stage. It is now our collective responsibility to ensure that industrial development minimizes environmental damage. This will allow us to recognize our efforts not only in building industries that strengthen our economy, but also in protecting the environment.
The Cabinet of Ministers has decided to pay a 25,000 rupee special monthly allowance to government executive grade officials without considering their service period instead of the special allowance paid to them so far based on their service period. Officials of Sri Lanka Engineering Service, Sri Lanka Architectural Service and the government surveyors are entitled to this allowance. The Minister of Public Administration has already issued an announcement regarding this matter, mentioning the qualification of the executive officials to have this allowance. The executive officials who are included in the Public Administration Circular of 18/2015-1 dated 13th July 2015 will be paid this allowance. With this new decision, the old allowances paid to them will be suspended from the 1st of July, considering the several circulars issued on the 26th of June 2015. The relevant officials who have been recommended for the special allowance from this month, if their previous allowance is less than 25,000 rupees, it will be increased up to 25,000. If it is equal to 25,000 or more, that allowance would not be amended according to the new circular. Provisions of this new circular will be effective from the 1st of July.
Under the Aswesuma Welfare Benefit Program, the Welfare Benefits Board disbursed a total of 11.6 billion rupees to the bank accounts of the beneficiaries in the transitional and vulnerable categories yesterday for the payments of June 2024. In the first phase of the program, eligible beneficiaries in the vulnerable category received 5,000 rupees from July 2023 to March 31st, 2024. Meanwhile, those in the transitional category received 2,500 rupees from July 2023 to 31st December 2023. In response to the current economic situation, President Ranil Wickremesinghe has instructed the Welfare Benefits Board to extend the payment period of special allowances for beneficiaries in the transitional and vulnerable categories under the Aswesuma Welfare Benefit Payment Program until December this year. As a part of this initiative, a special allowance was disbursed to these categories for June 2024, followed by monthly payments of 5,000 rupees each from July 2024 to December 2024. Additionally, the Welfare Benefits Board confirmed that the existing payment system for the extremely poor and poor categories will continue without changes.
It has been decided to reduce the bus fares by 5% from the 5th of next month. The decision has been taken under the annual revision of bus fares. Accordingly, the minimum fare will be reduced up to 28 rupees. This agreement has been made in a discussion held between the Secretary to the Ministry of Transport and the representatives of Bus Owners Association. Chairman of the Lanka Private Bus Owners Association, Gamanu Vijayaratne, says that the minimum fare is reduced by 2 rupees. General Secretary All Island Private Bus Owners Association Anjana Priyanjit says that usually in a 10 or 15 rupee reduction of diesel prices, bus fares are not reduced.
University lecturers say that President Ranil Wickremesinghe is now heading on a correct path for rebuilding the country. The University Lecturers Association for Building the Nation stressed this matter at a press briefing held in Colombo today. Professor Ajit Disanayake says that after discussions on 2 occasions, the IMF has agreed for this. At the 3rd time, paying back the bilateral loans has been postponed up to 2028. Under this trust between the 2 parties, the country will be able to solve the problem with multilateral creditors as well. In addition, China has also made agreement with its banks to provide relief for Sri Lanka. This is the good news that Sri Lanka has built up at present. We should not give up this opportunity. Dr. Suratissa Disanayake says that for a development of a country, it should go for an export economy. To meet this end, we have to develop new innovations. Sri Lanka has received a major support through this debt restructuring process. Therefore, we should protect this situation. EV Motor Show 2024 electric motor vehicle exhibition was declared open today at the BMICH premises with the participation of Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena and Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena. This is the largest electric motor vehicle exhibition organized in the country for the first time. EV Motor Show 2024 electric motor vehicle exhibition has been jointly organized by the Ministry of Transport and Highways and Asia Exhibition Institute. The exhibition will be held for 3 days at the Sirimau Bandaranaike Exhibition Hall. People can have a wide understanding on the innovative creations at the motor vehicle industry and its rapid growth of the industry. The organizers say that this exhibition is a good opportunity for manufacturers, distributors and experts of this industry. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that the country has new expectation regarding the future of the nation since the agreements on the debt restructuring were signed last week. The motor vehicle industry has to play a wider role in this regard. The government is committed to help the private sector entrepreneurs in this field, and e-motoring vehicle policy will be included in the country's national land transport policy. The relevant draft will be presented to the cabinet for approval without delay. Parliamentarians, ministers and several others were present at this occasion.
The Chief Prelate of the Kotte Sri Kalyani Samagri Dhamma Maha Sangha Sabha and Chancellor of the Sri Jayawardhanapura University, Agga Maha Pandita Most Venerable Dr. Ittepane Dhammalankaratte Mahanayaka Thera stated that President Ranil Wickremesinghe is the sole leader capable of rebuilding Sri Lanka's economy and advancing the nation. The Mahanayaka Thera emphasized that the President's program merits the blessings of the entire Mahasangha. The Mahanayaka Thera made these remarks during President Wickremesinghe's visit to Rukmale Sri Dharma Vijayaloka Mahaviharaya, Kottavi yesterday evening. Upon arriving at the temple, President Wickremesinghe first participated in religious rituals to receive blessings. He then visited the Mahanayaka Thera, inquiring about his health and engaging in a cordial discussion. Additionally, the President reviewed the temple's development activities. During the conversation, President Wickremesinghe updated the Mahanayaka Thera on the current economic and financial progress in Sri Lanka. The President stressed the need to steer the country on a new path to prevent future crises, committing to work dedicatedly towards this goal in the coming years. The President gratefully recalled the Mahanayaka Thera's invitation to assume the presidency during the country's period of disaster, expressing his determination to stabilize the economy swiftly. President Wickremesinghe acknowledged the support of those willing to stand for the country, noting that achieving economic stability in a short period was a unique victory for Sri Lanka, especially compared to other countries facing similar crises.
In other stories, Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena says that the paramount responsibility of expediting government development programs falls on the district secretaries. The Premier stressed this fact participating in a special discussion held at the Ministry of Home Affairs yesterday. The Prime Minister also pointed out that there is a delay in implementing the primary stage of the decentralized budget program. There is a total of 33,362 projects in this program. The government has allocated a sum of 11,250 million rupees for this purpose. The Prime Minister pointed out that a sum of 11,022 million rupees has already been released district-wise. Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said that the government has started a project titled Highways and Rural Roads. It has been delayed for various reasons. Some say that relevant engineers do not extend their support for this. On the other hand, torrential rains have delayed the implementation of this program. District secretaries should report their problems in the relevant areas without delay. District secretaries joined this discussion online. State Minister Ashoka Priyantha, Prime Minister's Secretary Anura Dissanayake and many others joined this occasion.
The capacity of solar power generation in the national power grid has exceeded 1,000 megawatts at present. Minister Kanchana Wijesekara says that out of the amount, 944 megawatts are generated by rooftop solar power. A capacity of 156 megawatts is generated by ground-based solar panels at present. It is expected to exceed the capacity of rooftop solar panels over 1,000 megawatts by the end of this year. According to the long-term power generation plan of the Ceylon Electricity Board, a capacity of 150 megawatts will be added to the national grid each year during the next 4-year period. The board has been able to add 132 megawatts of electricity to the national grid during the first 5 months of this year. Meanwhile, keeping a note on his X account, Minister Kanchana Wijesekara has stated that the Speaker of the Parliament has sent his assurance yesterday for the recently passed new electricity draft bill. Accordingly, the bill is effective from the 27th of June. And that's all the news we have from home. Stay tuned for international stories coming up next.
ඔබ LED විදුලි පහනක් මිලදී ගන්නා විට අවම බලශක්ති කාර්ය සාධන ලේබලය තිබේදැයි පරීක්ෂා කර බලන්න. අඛණ්ඩ විදුලි සැපයුමකට සහාය වෙමු.
President Joe Biden's stumbling performance at the CNN debate today triggered a panic among Democratic Party members and Biden supporters.
Vice President Kamala Harris, in a bid to defend her chief, said that it was only a slow start, but there was a strong finish. Despite delivering the opening salvo in yesterday's event, President Joe Biden struggled to articulate his points at several moments, appearing to fumble for his words. Meanwhile, Donald Trump took the opportunity to redirect the conversation at several points to Joe Biden's perceived weaknesses, increasing the interest of fears about immigration and the state of the economy. Joe Biden had spent the week leading up to the debate at Camp David in Maryland, a presidential retreat where aides helped him prepare with mock setups. Donald Trump, meanwhile, largely continued his schedule of rallies. As the president, Joe Biden began the evening by addressing the topic assertively, aiming to challenge the former president Donald Trump's popularity by highlighting shortcomings in Republican leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Officials stated that 7 people were reported dead and 5 were injured after an international express train collided with a bus on a level crossing in southern Slovakia. The Slovak ambulance service said that all those who died had been travelling on the bus. They had been badly burnt in the subsequent fire and it was proving difficult to identify their remains, stated the Interior Minister. Yesterday's accident happened near the town of Nove Zamki, about 80 kilometers east of the capital Bratislava.
Iranians have voted for a new president following the death of Ibrahim Raisi in a helicopter crash, choosing from a tightly controlled group of 4 candidates loyal to the supreme leader at a time of growing public frustration. Polls opened at 8 a.m. today and scheduled to close at 6 p.m. But authorities stated that the voting time can be extended until midnight. The snap election coincides with escalating regional tensions due to the current war between Israel and Iranian ally Hamas in Gaza and Hezbollah in Lebanon. While the election was unlikely to bring a major shift in the Islamic Republic's policies, its outcome could influence the succession to Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, Iran's 85-year-old supreme leader in power since 1989. Prominent among the remaining hardliners are Mohammad Baghir Ghalibaf, Parliament Speaker and former commander of the Air Force of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, and Saeed Jalili, a former nuclear negotiator who served for 4 years in Khamenei's office.
A roof at the Delhi airport had collapsed after heavy rain, killing one person and injuring 4 others. The footage uploaded on social media showed that huge pillars supporting the roof smashing into cars parked along the airport Terminal 1. All flights from the terminal had been temporarily suspended and check-in counters had been closed. The incident took place at 5 a.m., authorities said. Rescue operations were underway at the airport and the injured were being treated in hospitals. India's aviation regulator advised airlines to accommodate passengers on alternative flights or offer them refunds. The accident had impacted travel plans of thousands as most domestic flights take off from Terminal 1. Some airlines had shifted flight operations to the remaining 2 terminals at the airport. Federal Aviation Minister Ram Mohan Naidu Kindrapu announced a compensation of 2 million Indian rupees to the family of the deceased and 300,000 Indian rupees for the injured. Furthermore, Federal Aviation Minister stated that the situation was under control and that inspection was underway to prevent any further incident.
Tinamu macang, prima kotumi fantamai.
On sports news, India qualified for the finals of ICC World Cup T20 cricket tournament by defeating England by 68 runs in the second semi-final match.
Accordingly, the finals of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup will be played between India and South Africa.
Edge away past the match.
The second semi-final match was played on Providence. Batting first, India scored 171 runs for 7 wickets in their 20 overs. Captain Rohit Sharma scored 57 runs. Chris Jordan claimed 3 wickets.
It's a shot that is all his own. That's up in the air.
In reply, England were all out for 103 runs in 16.4 overs. Aksar Patel and Kuldeep Yadav claimed 3 wickets each. Accordingly, India qualified for the finals, and this is the 3rd occasion that they have qualified for the T20 World Cup finals. India became the T20 champions in 2007. They became the runners-up in 2014. The finals will be played in Kensington Oval tomorrow.
A tough deck.